All right.
All right. Hey, everybody. This is the Film Tangents Show. We got the movie starting at the 0 second mark. That's 0:00:00. The
Mm-hmm.
Universal logo is on the screen. Got
That's
some
right.
bird noises going. Universal Pictures
Mm-hmm.
presents
Universal Pictures
ominous instrumental
presents.
music.
Yeah.
But we're back, everybody. This is the mid-season finale of season
Finale.
2 of Film
Yeah.
Tangents. We're going to be taking off the month of July, giving you guys a break from us, and we'll be back in August. Little PSA: the Hitman episode, at least at the
Yeah.
time of this recording,
Yep.
last week's episode was taken down by Netflix. I'm assuming because they thought they're too lazy to actually look up the videos themselves.
They thought it was the. I guess they thought it was the actual film.
Yeah, so they're too lazy to actually, or whatever AI bot they got doing that doesn't actually watch the video. It just assumes that we uploaded the full movie. So that should be back up. Um, Hopefully by the time you're listening to this, if not a little bit
Hopefully
after.
with the Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But welcome back, everybody. There's some shuffling. There's guys standing around in front of lights. Um, Welcome back. This is Jurassic Park. We're doing a commentary. This is almost for me. This almost is like the first time watching this movie.
Been a while for you.
Because I've seen. Yeah, it's been a really long time. Like I don't even remember this right now. And then I remember a lot of the scenes in the middle of the film, and I don't exactly remember how this movie ends.
Yeah. It's a good one, dude. I rewatched this, I want to say 4 years ago. And I was shocked because I hadn't seen it in a while. Like you, I hadn't seen it in a very long time. I first saw this probably when I was like 6 or 7. And
Mhm.
of course, I liked it for the dinosaurs back then. But when I rewatched it like 5 years ago, I was really impressed with just how much of a suspense film this is. It's a
Mhm.
great suspense film because Spielberg is a master of suspense. I mean, he definitely he took at least back then he took after Alfred Hitchcock, like with Jaws.
Mhm.
He definitely learned a lot on the set of Jaws with that shark not working and how that was advantageous to the movie. But Jurassic Park, in my opinion, it's just as much of a suspense film as it is an action and adventure film.
Yeah.
And you're seeing that right here. You got
This guy's
the
getting eaten.
raptor is out of sight. And now today,
Yeah.
you'd have a full CGI raptor in this scene, and it would suck.
Yeah, it would
Um,
suck.
but they're keeping it under wraps. They're keeping you guessing. He's we're getting a
Just let him
tease
go.
here.
Yeah. Just give up on him. Give up on him. He's done.
Yep.
And that guy was like barely trying to like have a grasp on him. Like he was barely trying. He was like just trying enough to look like he was trying, but he wanted that guy to die.
Look at this guy.
Oh,
Amber mine.
Mano de Dios,
Oh,
Amber. Oh, the Dominican Republic. Holy shit!
it's your
Look at that.
your home country.
That's right, dude. None of these guys really do. None of these guys really look Dominican, but I guess it's supposed to be the Dominican Republic.
Yeah. Well, yeah. This it said the amber mines, so this must be where they get the
Mhm.
mosquito stuck in amber that has the dinosaur blood in it or whatever.
Yeah, bro. I bet none of these guys are Dominican. I could, oh, he like slipped. I bet that wasn't on the script.
Yeah, probably not.
Um,
This
I
guy,
can look
he
up all these guys up, and I bet none of them are Dominican.
this guy was in the guy in the business suit. He was in a lot of stuff in the '90s. He was in Heat. He's the clerk in Heat in the beginning that sells Val Kilmer
Yeah,
the demolition pipes or whatever.
yeah.
And then he's the hotel clerk, one of the hotel clerks in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. When after
Is
their
he a
car
stiff
catches on
in those
fire,
movies?
huh?
Is he like a stiff guy in those movies? Like just like a no
Yeah.
nonsense, like yeah,
Yep.
because he gives that impression.
Oh yeah. Like in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, he's the one who like Steve Martin's character pawns off his watch or whatever to get a hotel room,
I see.
but then he won't
Yeah.
accept John Candy's crappy watch.
It's funny how they like typecasted so many of these guys.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
they just typecasted them. Like, oh, you might be a good actor, but you look like a stiff guy. Like you look
Yeah.
like a no nonsense, no fun guy, and so that's what everything that you're gonna play is gonna be that.
Yeah. Now we got him on a dig site. You know, Edward, for a time as a kid, this is what I wanted to be when I grew up. I was a paleontologist.
Really?
Yep, for a little while.
Yeah, you wanted to be Indiana Jones, huh?
Well, I did at one point want to be an archaeologist as well. I had a lot of different
Yeah.
childhood dreams, and then I settled on writer, and I've been regretting it ever since. But no.
You should become a gym teacher.
Yeah, those who can't teach gym, in the words of Jack Black in School of Rock.
Yeah, at least so far in my career as a human, I've proven that I can teach. So
Now that's true. You have.
I've stayed one step away from gym though. It's like at any point I could crumble, become a gym teacher.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's the crew, man. Sam Neill,
Okay.
Laura Dern. Sam Neill, is that his name?
I don't know any of these guys. You know, Laura Dern.
The main character. What's his name?
Oh no! Oh yeah. I know.
Sam
I
Neill.
don't know what his actual name is. Is he actually Sam Neill? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he is. And that's Laura Dern.
Yep. Yeah, a couple months ago, I watched Event Horizon. I think I talked about it on the podcast,
You
but that's
talked about that
starring Sam Neill.
The only guy that'll be able to be like, oh my god, it's him, is Jeff Goldblum whenever he shows up.
Oh yeah, Jeff Goldblum. We have brought back the dinosaurs from Amber. They have been extinct for almost 5,000 years since the time of Noah's Ark.
I love Jeff Goldblum, dude. Can't replace him.
Wouldn't that be something, dude, to bring back the dinosaurs after 5,000 years of being extinct since the time of Moses?
Wouldn't you love that? Wouldn't you geek out? I wouldn't care too much. I was like, oh, okay.
You wouldn't care that much if they brought dinosaurs back?
I wouldn't care that much. At the very least,
Really?
me that's sitting in front of you in this exact same second, if you told me they brought the dinosaurs back, I'd be like, oh, okay.
Get the hell out of
Alright.
here. Are you serious?
Me
Dude,
right now, dude. Like
that's pretty lame.
You have to take everything. You have to take everything into context. Like maybe me tomorrow, that's like not all worked out. You know, and just trying to chill would be moved. I would not be moved by those news right now. Like you
Wow.
could tell me that right now, and I would not be moved. I'll be like, okay, whatever.
Dude, you're out of your mind. That's unbelievable. I can't
I'm
believe
not-
that. What
I'm not
about
too-
aliens? What if aliens came down?
Aliens, yes.
Why
Dinosaurs-
aliens but not dinosaurs?
Because
Because I guess aliens are a big question mark. I get that.
Exactly. Because it's like, and you know me, man. I'm not like an easily impressed guy. You know? I'm not easily.
I like to think I'm not an easily impressed guy, but dude, dinosaurs have been extinct
I know
for
that wouldn't
65
be me.
million years, and
that
we have no
doesn't
idea what they
qualify.
looked like.
Yeah, I know that doesn't qualify as being easily impressed because that is like an outlandish thing.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm kind of like in a state of like ennui where I'm just kind of like nothing matters.
Oh Jesus, God, can't believe you. I can't believe you said
I
that.
wonder what that kid's up to these days.
Yeah, what else is he in? He's in
What do you
something
think?
else.
What do you think that kid's up to these days, dude?
I don't know.
You like cast him because of his eyebrows.
Subway, maybe.
He kind of looks like Joaquin Phoenix. He kind of looks like Joaquin Phoenix, funny enough.
It
I don't know
is
what
Joaquin
this-
Phoenix.
By this point in time, Joaquin was already like in his late teens, I think.
Yeah.
So sadly, that wouldn't be Joaquin.
What was the other movie that kid was in? He was in something else. He was actually like the star of it. I'm pretty sure. It's like right on the. I think it was a horror movie too. Ah, what was
Really?
it? Yeah, man. It's gonna drive me nuts. I gotta look it up now.
You're disappointed at my lack of enthusiasm for dinosaurs. Dude, I've never really
Honestly,
been a dinosaur guy.
yeah, but I mean, it's still like a I mean, it's a huge thing though. Like
I know.
I get, yeah. I mean, you're not a dinosaur guy, but that's like a pretty big thing. I'm just
Yeah.
surprised. I'm not disappointed. I'm very, very shocked by that, sir.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, dude, I'm telling you to take me into context. A different day, I might actually be like enthused.
I would say
Like, we have to
maybe
go.
I would say maybe if you were more familiar with dinosaur science, though, you'd realize how big of a deal that would be, and then maybe you'd feel
If I
differently.
was more familiar with dinosaur science, if I was more familiar with dinosaur science, I don't know what the end of that sentence is.
Oh yeah, A Nightmare on Elm Street
If I was more
5
familiar
he
with
was
dinosaur
in.
science, I would work at a zoo.
Why?
I don't know where that sentence. Oh,
Yeah, I don't know
what were
where
you
that was
saying?
going, dude. Boo.
Yeah, boo me in the comments, everybody.
Yeah.
I am gonna pose that question to the viewer, though. Listener, viewer, person watching Jurassic Park with us, and feeling like you're in a room with your buddies, just
Yeah,
talking over a cool movie.
that's right.
Um, would you feel like enthused? Would you be like, oh my god, the dinosaurs, they're around? Would you feel that way? Let us know in the comments.
I'm
Let's get
for
into a debate.
Yeah, you're in the minority on that, dude.
I'm
Like
pretty sure I am in the minority.
you 100% are in the minority. I could I mean, dude, even cuz I don't think they're going to be able to bring back dinosaurs, but I think at least not with the science as it currently stands, I don't see I'm not claiming to be an expert on this, but I keep up with science decently, like more than the average person, I would say. And I don't see evidence for us
More than
being able
me.
to keep that like bring dinosaurs back.
Yeah.
But um we are pretty close to bringing mammoths back. And even that
Yeah.
would be astounding to me. I'd be like, "Holy shit." Like
Do
just
we have
any extinct creature coming back is very fascinating to me. But
do we have
we've been
enough
quote unquote l- real quick, we've been quote
uh,
unquote like 5 years away from bringing back mammoths for like 30 years now. It's like one of those things that they just keep saying, you know? Like they keep saying like, "Oh, we're like 2 years away from this and that," and it's like, you know, 10 years
but
goes by and it's still
we have enough genetic information for dinosaurs available that if we had the technology they could come back, right?
no. That's what we're missing. We don't have like their genome sequenced, I believe.
I see. I
Because
see.
we've been able to clone animals. Like we have the technology. They've cloned sheep before, like Dolly the sheep. That's
Yeah.
like the most famous example of a cloned animal. Um, so we do have the ability to do that. We just don't have enough genetic information. I believe the most genetic information we have, like the most complete, we have found one like dinosaur mummy. I believe it
Mhm.
was I think it was an Edmontosaurus, and they found it with like dried skin still preserved on it, but it's
Mhm.
just not. I don't think there's like enough there because that stuff withers down. Um, and even fossils, like a lot of people
Oh,
don't know.
isn't this a meme? Isn't a meme coming up?
I don't know, but that's Kramer from Seinfeld.
It is Curve Cyberpunk. There is a shot of this scene that is like a meme. There was like a meme, like a famous meme
Was
forever.
it?
Um,
I don't
I
remember.
could probably tell you exactly when it happens if I remember it like clearly enough.
Mm. Shout it out when it happens.
Yeah. This is it. This is it. This is it. That was it. That exactly.
When he said
That
nice
exactly.
hat,
No,
or
like
when he was pointing.
those that sequence where he was pointing at him, and then the flip of him saying like nobody cares.
Oh.
Like that was a meme. That was like a popular meme for a long time because he was
I
basically
don't
like
know if
being
I
like,
remember
oh,
that
this
one.
guy, like, oh, this guy here, this guy knows, like this
Yeah.
obscure band, and then be like nobody nobody cares.
Oh man. I don't know if I remember that one.
This guy likes Nirvana. Nobody cares. Keep it pushing.
But yeah, these guys, I think these guys are like trying to steal some shit from Jurassic Park or whatever. Um,
Listen.
so what was I saying? Something about dinosaurs, I don't know.
You were saying that that guy's Kramer from Seinfeld.
Yeah. I was saying something before that though. Yeah, okay. So this is what I was saying. So a lot of people don't understand too what like fossils are. So fossils are not bones.
Okay.
Those aren't dinosaur bones that we're actually finding in the ground. They're fossilized, which means they've actually been preserved in rock. And
Mm-hmm.
what paleontologists are doing when they're excavating it is chipping away the rock that's around the bone, and they're carving
Hey, there he
out kind
is.
of the mold of the bone, but it's still like basically stone. It's
Yeah.
fossilized bone. It's not actual bones over millions of years. Forget it. Bones decay too. Those wither away.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's how hard it is. Like you can imagine how hard it would be to actually get your hands on dinosaur DNA.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I don't know, because at a certain point, I mean, 65 million years is when that's when the last dinosaur roamed the earth. 65 million years ago. So,
That's when that movie takes place, The Last Dinosaur.
um, I don't know. Last dinosaur.
Have you
What's that?
seen that movie?
I don't know. The last dinosaur.
I think
Which
that
one
is
is
like an
that?
actual movie. I think it's like it might be a Pixar movie. I'm gonna look it up for us.
Oh yeah, yeah, probably, probably. That
Let me
movie's like
see.
alternate history though, because it's like humans live alongside dinosaurs, right? And I think the meteor like missed, so then humans evolved alongside dinosaurs.
Let me see. The Last Dinosaur.
Oh, this is that scene where he
That I don't
says,
know what the hell this is. It's a sci-fi adventure.
"Yeah, it's Pixar. You're right." That's been on my watch list forever. I'll probably never watch that thing. That's
What, The
like
Last
supposed to be
Dinosaur?
Pixar's worst movie, besides like Brave.
Yeah. Yeah, the Little Dinosaur movie is supposed to be their worst movie. I've wanted to watch it. Like you, it's been on my watch list for a long time.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll get to it. Who knows? Or maybe not. Maybe never.
we missed the part where he said there. They're like,
Yeah, we did.
Where's the island? There.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy, the guy that I was talking about, the who was like in Heat and
Mhm.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That guy definitely gets eaten by raptors at some point. I think he's the guy that gets eaten on the shitter. He's on the shitter and the T Rex eats him. I'm pretty sure
Oh,
that's
he's that
him.
guy. I know. I remember that scene. I know that scene.
Pretty sure that's him. But yeah,
He's
I thought this
dying.
would be a good movie. It's like the ultimate summer blockbuster. I was looking up on
And he's
Reddit.
supposed to like be cool because he tied it. He tied it, and he's like, I'm a cool guy."
Yeah, I'm cool.
Like,
Yeah, but this is I was looking up like on Reddit, what's the ultimate summer blockbuster, and the three that I saw the most were Jaws, Jurassic Park, and Independence Day. Those are like the top 3. And I've seen Jaws so many fucking times, and I've never seen Independence Day, so I didn't want to do a commentary on a movie I've never
I've never seen
seen.
Independence Day either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really have much of a desire to watch Independence Day. But I do want to see it at some point, but
Do you have a take on that? On like, like a great summer blockbuster film? Like, what that would be?
I think for me, like summer movies, I love anything in either the Alien franchise or
Mhm.
the Predator franchise. For some reason, those are just like summer vibes for me. Like I love watching the Alien and Predator movies in
Mhm.
during the summertime. Those are like anything 80s sci-fi, 80s action, like the Rambo movies,
Mhm.
RoboCop, um Total Recall. That's 1990, I believe. What about you, man? You
Yeah.
you got a big summer blockbuster movies you like to watch in the summer?
Mm, let me think. 'Cause I feel like when that question comes up, I think about like things that I guess I might have watched like during the summer when I was a kid or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, Somehow like superhero movies are the only things that come to my mind.
Yeah, superhero
Like
movies are always
superhero
like,
movies.
yeah, that's always the way to go. Yeah, really any superhero movie, definitely.
'Cause they always all come out in the summer. I've seen so many of them in theaters, like the Guardians of the Galaxy movies
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Transformers movies, even though those are terrible, those are summer movies. That was one that I was thinking of doing was
Those are terrible.
Transformers as well, the first one. But like this would be me, dude.
Wiltshire.
This would be me if I saw dinosaurs. I'd be shitting myself. Okay, what if you actually
Wiltshire.
saw one in person though?
I would probably have a reaction like that. I think it's just like
Yeah.
the news. It's just the news of somebody telling me that. Like I said to you, like right now, if somebody said that to me, I don't think I would care that much.
I mean, dude, I'd be storming the gates. I'd be like,
Oh shit! Look at
how do
that.
I see one as soon as possible, like in person? You
Yeah,
know, that's a brachiosaurus.
look at that,
Yeah,
dude. I dare you to name every species that
I'll
comes
name
up on
it,
the
dude. I'll
screen.
name every species. Yeah, for those who don't know, I'm a huge dinosaur guy. I was obsessed with dinosaurs as a kid. I was just the biggest fucking nerd ever, and dinosaurs are what got me into film, dude. Because I
For
loved
those listening,
dinosaurs, and then
for those,
that
go
got me
ahead.
into Godzilla, and Godzilla is what got me into film. Go
For
ahead.
those listening, keep our man Jake honest. If you too are a huge dinosaur nerd,
Yeah.
correct him. If he misses one, just type in the comments at this timestamp, you sir, wrong.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I won't get one
Um,
wrong, man.
look at
That's a
that. That's epic.
brachiosaurus right there. I think there's about to be some other ones we're about to see. I'll name those.
What's this movie's aspect ratio? Because I know that this movie was shot like I know this is a pretty boxy movie. Let me see. Because this movie's not. It's funny how they made like the new like Jurassic World and those new movies. They're letterboxed and they're wider. I think the newest one was that I think that like the Jurassic World one might have been like 235 or something like that, like aspect ratio. And this I think this is probably like 1.80 or something. Let me see. Let me see. Where's the aspect ratio?
Put your head between your knees. I
Because
remember my parents telling me that one time when I was really super drunk when I was like a teenager.
what for? What he said. Okay, what he
That's what
said.
they just said to him. That's what you're supposed to
Put
do
your
when you
hands in your knees.
those are Parasaurolophus by the lake.
Where is this on IMDb? Like the technical stuff. I was like, is it all down here? Yeah, this is 185 to 1. Yeah, I knew it. Because this movie is pretty boxy, like where the movie is really focused on like height to just encompass like the physicality and the length of these dinosaurs and how big they
Yeah.
are. It's kind of an oxymoron why they made their newer ones. I feel like sometimes decisions get made just because they go like, well, the masses are used to movies being letterboxed and being wide,
Yeah, yeah.
so that's what we're going to do. And it's like, no, this it's like aspect ratios have a purpose, and it's like if you're going to do something that needs to have a focus on big objects on the screen or the physicality of things, and 185 is better than fucking 235.
Yeah. Interesting. Interesting.
You have the dinosaur nerdiness, and I'll talk about the technical
Exactly.
aspects.
Dude, we're a perfect double threat. I'm telling you. I was just thinking that too. I got the dinosaur facts, you got the filmmaking
You got the film
facts.
facts.
Because you got all that like camera knowledge that I don't have because you studied directing in college. And I
I
was
would love to. I don't think I've. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't think I've ever been to somewhere where they've kind of recreated like the body and bones of like the structure of one of these dinosaurs. I would love to go somewhere where they would have something like that.
Oh yeah. It's pretty amazing seeing those. Yeah, just
I would love to
being
see that, man.
dwarfed by those things, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I love museums, dude.
Look, it's the name of the movie.
Yep. And the logo.
Does that mean the movie's over?
I guess so. All right, bye everybody.
It's
We'll see you
over.
in the second
Bye,
back half of
right?
season 2.
Next time, don't tangent.
Yeah, we're out.
Right, everybody.
All right, man. I'm gonna go eat some dinner and
Now,
God bless.
fuck off.
So I thought what was interesting in the last scene too, a great moment was when he was kind of looking at the dinosaurs in the distance, and he kind of had this look
Mm,
on his face, and he said, "They do move in herds. They move in herds. We were
mm,
right. They
mm.
move in herds." I think that's interesting because one very interesting aspect about prehistoric animals in general,
Mm,
particularly dinosaurs, is that we have no idea or very little idea of their behavior.
mm.
You know, like those are things like we can learn a lot about their physiology from their bones, but their behavior, we can make educated guesses, you know?
Yeah.
But there's been debates, dude, for decades about like did T-Rex hunt in packs? Did they travel alone, you know? Like did they care for their young? Did they lay the eggs and when the young hatched, they just start eating them? You know what I mean? Like what,
Mm,
you know? Um
yeah.
very interesting.
Look at this little cartoon they were showing.
I always love this scene, yeah. It's like every
Mm,
museum has stuff like this. It's like a little educational video.
yeah.
It's like, well, this is how scientists find dinosaur bones.
They look for them and they dig at places.
Dude, Jeff Goldblum is so cool.
He is really cool.
Just a cool dude.
Love to know who animated this. This is like pretty fluid, like dope little character animation.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. Yeah, see if you
It's
can find
nice.
Jamie. Pull that up. See if you can find out who animated this.
We did a Jamie, man.
Well, Steven Spielberg liked animation too. He loved like
Yeah, that's right. He made
Pinky and the Brain.
that movie I haven't seen, like The Adventures of Tintin.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen that. That was pretty good, actually.
I would love to see that. That's actually pretty good.
Pretty good. I
I
saw it
would love to see
very
that.
long time ago, so I don't remember, but I remember liking it as a kid. But he made he I think he was one of the creators of Pinky and the Brain too, or like an
He was too, yes.
executive producer or something.
Yeah, he was involved with that show for sure. And I loved Pinky and the
Hmm.
Brain when I was a kid.
I've never seen it.
Really, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good show. Like really fun, like good show, kind of mature, and in the sense that it seemed like it wasn't really like condescending or looking down on you. It was kind of going with its own thing.
Hmm. I like that. I respect it.
Let me see.
Should I have another glass of wine? How stupid do we want this episode to get? That's the real
This episode's gonna
question.
get pretty stupid, man. I've started drinking beer 10 minutes ago,
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
the quality of our thoughtfulness is gonna go down
Yeah.
severely.
Fuck it, dude. It's the mid-season finale. We're going into the summer. Leave a comment. What are you guys doing this summer? You guys doing anything fun? Or are you going to be staring into the abyss, as one of our classmates said a
One of
long
our
time
one of our one of our one of our old buddies said one time, "Just a summer full of staring into the darkness."
Someone, yeah, that was like
To answer
during a
this question,
class. The teacher was like, "What did we all do during the summer?" We went around the room, and then he was just like, "Oh, I stared into the abyss, and the abyss stared back at me."
yeah,
And we were just like, "What the?"
yeah. So it was one of those moments where I was like, "Oh, maybe you shouldn't have said
Yeah.
that. Maybe you should have said something else."
Oh my god. People,
Let me
he's
see.
lying though, dude. That guy probably did a ton of fun shit over the summer,
Oh,
and
100%.
people tried so hard to be edgy in art school. Oh man.
I'm having like a hard time finding like who animated like those little like um animated scenes. Because the answer started giving me like, oh, this guy did the CGI. It's like I'm not fucking looking for Dennis Morin. Oh, good for you, Dennis Morin. You did the CGI on the dinosaurs. I don't care.
Right.
I'm looking for the actual hero here, the guy who did the little DNA
Yeah.
animated fella. That guy really did a good job, and he
Right.
needs to be congratulated. Maybe we'll see it on the end credits. Um,
Wow, that
pretty
looks
neat.
really fake, man.
Pretty neat.
That looks really fake.
That's a really funny. It looks like somebody has like a hand underneath that egg, and it's just like a toy they got at Walmart.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then they put like sludge and like red like blood or like ketchup on or something.
That's so bad. Oh, that doctor guy. He plays the priest in the show Oz. I just realized that for, I guess, a little bit of trivia for people who might be watching
Was
along.
Did you ever watch that show, The Priest?
No.
It was like a prequel, not a prequel. It was like Seth Rogen trying to adapt a comic book before he got to The Boys.
Huh.
You
Interesting.
never
Oh yeah,
saw
I
The
forgot
Priest,
Seth
did
Rogen. He does executive produce The Boys, doesn't he?
you? Yeah.
Dude, The Boys. I'm glad you brought that up. I got to follow up because last week's episode we were talking about episodes 1 through 3 of The Boys and
Mhm.
how, you haven't seen it, but I was talking about how
Yeah.
you had asked me about it.
For clickbait purposes,
Yeah.
on our taken down video, I
Right.
titled that section as The Fall Off of The Boys.
Right. So yeah, the episode 4 came out, which each episode is 8, or each season rather is 8 episodes.
Okay.
So this was the midpoint of the season. They quite a rebound, dude. Pretty damn good, I gotta
Really? It
say.
was a good episode. Huh.
Great episode.
Huh.
Great episode.
Hmm.
Yep. Good stuff.
Maybe not so much The Fall Off of The Boys, huh?
Yeah, I had faith. I knew something crazy was going to happen. I saw Critical Drinker released a video this week on it, on the new season. He brought up a lot of good points. He did say at the end that he won't be watching season 4.
Hmm.
I don't know. To me, that's a
So,
little much, especially because he
so
gave
he just
season
he just
1.
dropped it.
Yeah, especially because he gave season 1 a Drinker Recommends, and also the fact that the show is literally ending like after next season. So it's like
Yeah.
I'm finishing it, dude, no matter what. Like I don't care how bad it gets. Like I'm finishing the thing.
Maybe the drinker
know?
watched our Hitman episode and he watched the when to drop a show section of the episode
Yeah.
and he was like, oh, maybe it's time to drop The Boys.
Yeah, maybe. He was like, I watched these guys film tangents, and I've got to say, I've got some tangents of my own. Yeah. I love when he does that laugh.
That's a pretty good. Like that was legitimately like almost 1 for 1 what it sounds like.
Oh, that's good, man. I got a good Critical Drinker impression.
Yeah, you really do.
Hollywood likes to tell us what to think. Oh, that was too Scottish. That was like too Scottish.
You got a little too Scottish.
Yeah, I got a little too Scottish.
You were like walking that line pretty well.
Yeah, film tangents made a good point about The Boys.
It's time to drop it.
Yeah. And no, I don't think I'm going to be watching the new season of The Boys. I've got better things to do. Oh, wait, I got it ready. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now. That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Immediately ends the video.
Go away now.
I'm trying to like think about like because you talked about how Jurassic Park and dinosaurs led to Godzilla, which led you to film. I'm trying to think about like my path towards like filmmaking. It's interesting. I think I had a little bit more of like a roundabout way, I guess, because like my main interest developed to being like anime and manga and shit like that when I was young.
Yeah.
And
Hentai.
when I was a kid, I never. don't give anime a bad reputation. Anime had to fight for so
No,
long to get out of that.
I was just giving you a bad rep. I wasn't giving
I see.
anime
You're giving me a bad rep.
Yeah.
Because when I was growing up, it was always like people were always associated it with that, and it's like I'm just fucking watching Dragon Ball, man.
I don't associate. No, I don't associate anime with hentai automatically. I was just poking fun at you. I was insinuating that you, as a kid, got into hentai and then therefore got into anime.
Got into anime.
That was the implication.
Therefore, got into filmmaking.
Yeah.
No, I got into anime, man, and then manga, and then I remember that. I never had like this intention of being like some grand thing when I was a kid. Like I never wanted to be like a doctor or anything like that.
Right. Yeah.
But I remember that the first thing that I arrived at, when I was maybe like I don't remember how old I was, but the first thing that I arrived at was that I wanted to be um I wanted to like draw like manga. I was like I want to make comic books.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
in my head, I started like looking it up. I started like researching when I was a kid. It's like I was like, I'm gonna have to move to Japan. I'm gonna have to move to Japan and make manga. And
Yeah.
then I started like learning how to draw. I was like drawing every day, every day, every day, every day,
Oh,
every day, every
nice.
day, for months and months and months and months and months. I would dedicate like 3 hours to drawing because I wanted to get like really good. Um, and I was like writing, I was like, because from a young age I started writing at a young age because I started writing everything, just writing all my ideas in like into script forms and everything like that.
Yeah.
And but my goal, I was misguided because my goal was like I'm gonna write my stories and I'm gonna draw them. That was my goal. And then very quickly I realized, for me at the very least, I understood that it's like what I want to do from this, I don't really have like the even though I have the talent, I don't have the the talent, I was like, I don't really have like the God-giving like illustrative talent to realize what I'm trying to do. It took me, but I got decent, at drawing,
Interesting.
just from so much fucking practice.
Well, yeah, because even those
Um,
doodles you did in class back in the day, dude. I mean, those were pretty good.
so I got decent, and I picked up form. So I actually started studying like how to do things right, like the right way to like draw faces and like what do you call that? Not biology, but physiology and like all
Yeah.
this shit.
Anatomy.
And anatomy, and then so I started doing that, and I picked up a lot of shit. But ultimately, like I said, I just kind of got to this place where I was like, like this is not really matching like my what's in my head. And I didn't want to. I also was not satisfied. Like my brain couldn't be satisfied with like anything but exactly what I wanted.
Right,
So I
right,
didn't
right.
want to like settle for making shitty drawings into the comic book because I know that's a thing, but I didn't want to do it. Um, and then literally for me, filmmaking was just what I settled for. It's like I was like, I put two and two together, and I was like, well, like I'm good at, like I was like, I keep writing these stories, I keep coming up with things. I was like, I keep coming up with shit. Seemingly, I have like this hyperactive mind, and I have all these stories, and I know how to write them, and I know how to tell them to people. So I
Yeah.
was just like, well, I guess I should just do that. It was literally a process of elimination where I was like, I can't really do the drawing and illustration element of this to the extent that I want it to be. So I'm just gonna do the other part.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then that led me to filmmaking because then also I ventured into what is your waters now, because obviously you've been working a lot on your own novels and your own work for a few years now. Admirably, I think you're doing great work. Um,
Thanks, dude.
but for me, like I ventured into doing that, and then I realized, like I realized that it was not entirely like how I wanted to express my I guess like my ideas. I was like, I
Mm.
really want to express this in a visual medium. And so that's really what led me to filmmaking. And it was literally a process of elimination,
Yeah.
from one thing to the other thing to being like, oh, I see my skills are really kind of catered perfectly to this thing. I'm just gonna do this thing.
Yeah, for sure. That
And
makes
by that
sense.
point, I might have been like 14 when I kind of did that whole turnaround.
Yeah. It sounds like you um sold yourself short on the drawing side of things, because I don't think like
Maybe
you. It sounds like you have the talent. You probably just, yeah. It takes time to get, to
it
a
takes time to
professional
get to
level
good.
of that
I
stuff.
I
And
I
when
did
you're a
it.
kid, I did the same thing, dude. When you're a
Yeah.
kid, you have no patience. Like 3 months
No.
when you're a kid feels like 9 months.
No, dude, I did.
So
I was drawing every day for 8 months.
yeah,
I did it for a long time.
eight
But
months. You
again,
said,
yeah,
yeah. When
yeah.
you're a
But again,
kid, that feels like 2.5 years, basically.
yeah. But it was this thing that I still kind of agree with, like now, that it truly is just that I did like for me, it truly was that like I wanted to be doing it at such a high level, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like. It's one of those things where I was like, I don't think I'm ever gonna get there. Like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was literally like and it's funny because like my sister is very gifted, like as an illustrator. Like my sister is actually like very gifted.
Yeah.
And so I put myself into context and I was like, fuck all this.
Man, yeah, I don't know, dude.
I'm
My
not telling
thing,
anybody I'm not telling anybody to like give up on their drawing dreams. That was my journey with the whole
yeah,
thing.
yeah. I think you sold yourself probably short because the thing is, like, I do think there is such thing as natural talent for sure.
Yeah,
Like, I
100%. Of
think you and I
course.
agree
Of
on that.
course.
Yeah,
Yeah, of
that
course.
the
I
whole
can't
idea.
I can't fucking be Michael Jordan. I can't be in
No,
the in
no.
the NBA.
I think honestly, dude, people talk about like political correctness and stuff and politeness, and I think that's one part. I think that's one aspect of society that we will never not be PC on is the fact that
Mhm.
you just do inherit like certain things.
It's
And the
Samuel L.
reason,
Jackson.
yeah, oh yeah, dude, I forgot he's in this. He is
Yeah,
in this.
dude.
Holy shit, man!
Oh shit. Go
This
on.
was like right before he was a huge name.
Yeah.
A couple years after Goodfellas. I always hated that scene in Goodfellas, like, or was disturbed by that scene in Goodfellas where he
Mhm.
just gets shot in his
He just
underwear.
gets
It's like
shot. Yeah.
so
In his underwear.
it's just like
Yeah.
indignant, in indecency.
Yeah.
Like it just
Yeah.
felt like such a horrible death. Um,
Yeah.
but so what was I saying? Yeah, so talent. I think
Talent.
that's something that our society will always be relatively PC on is the idea that
Mhm.
because it's because of marketing. People want to believe companies sell people a dream. They want to sell like if you're a fitness company and you want to sell the idea that everybody can look like Hercules. Anyone
Right.
can look
Right.
like. The truth is, dude, like you could lift weight. Like, dude, my nutrition has been perfect for almost perfect for years now. My weight
Mhm.
training has been almost perfect for years now. I've seen results, but I don't look like Hercules, dude. Your
Right.
genetics decide that. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
are there a couple things I could tweak here and there?
You'll have
Yeah.
to start taking some steroids, dude.
Right, exactly. That's the thing. All these like fitness
You're not doing
influencers,
this
they're on
right. Yeah.
steroids or testosterone
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like everyone wants to sell. Everyone, these companies want to sell us a dream, and the fact of the matter is that like talent is a thing. There are just inherited things. IQ, dude. IQ is a thing. I think that's one thing that I
Mhm.
think this topic of IQ alone will never. I don't think we're ever not going to be PC about that. But the fact of the matter
Right.
is, dude, that IQ fucking matters,
Right.
and you cannot be. Yeah, the other outliers here and there. Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
but there's a reason that I think the average IQ for millionaires is like 125 or something.
Yeah.
It's like there's a reason for that, you
Well,
know?
because that was the thing too. Because I remember there was like a clip that was viral for a bit of somebody performing. Somebody went somewhere like one of those like talent shows, and I think they like tried like singing, and then
Yeah.
the judges were like, "It's like you just don't have it,"
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, it's true. It's like that person doesn't have it."
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like you can train your voice, and you can get like decent, but it's like then you have people like Adele, and it's like, well, they're just naturally like
Yeah.
there is such a thing, like you said, as just like a naturally God given, like you have this, you're Mariah Carey, and then everybody else is everybody else. You know.
So I think that is where I think there's a bit of nuance too. I think that if you can get halfway decent at something, then
Yeah,
you can get really good at it.
sure.
I do
Yeah.
think that like in Stephen King, he has a book called On Writing, and in it he
Mhm.
says, and again, this is like one of those things where it's like, oh, this is just some super successful person speaking in absolutes, and their word isn't necessarily law.
Mhm.
But this is just what Stephen King believes, and I think there's some truth to it. He talks about you you cannot take a good writer and turn them into a great writer, and you cannot take a bad writer and turn them into a good writer, but you can take a competent writer and turn them into a good writer.
Right.
And I think there's some truth to that. Like, I do think that there are, like you said, there are some Adeles where it's just like great singers, right?
Right.
And
Exactly. And
you
then
can
have
only train so
Taylor
much, and you
Swift.
might never get there. Yeah, but
Right.
it's like your voice. You don't get to pick your voice, you know. But
Right.
I
Right.
do think that if you're halfway decent at singing, you get some vocal coaching, you practice and practice and practice
Yeah.
for a
You get real
decade,
good.
you can get damn
Yeah.
good.
You get
Yeah.
damn good. Yeah. No. 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 I mean, I feel like what you're saying is just a kind of like a fact, you know. Like to me that's just like a fact. To me that's just factual, and again, like
Facts, bro.
the issue,
Facts.
the facts, and the issue is that that's also the mentality. Like, even though I was like really young when I was starting to like learn how to draw, that's also the mentality I approached it with, um, of just kind of being like, you know, even though I'm never gonna be, let's say, like fucking what's his name? Eiichiro Oda or any of those like Japanese guys like drawing these comic books. Like even though, you know, what's the name of that guy? It's the guy. It's fuck Kentaro Miura. Like, even though I'm never gonna be Kentaro Miura drawing Berserk, Berserk just looks. Berserk is like some of the greatest, you know, human drawn art in existence. You know, like even though I knew I was like I'm not gonna do that. You know, I was still kind of like thinking like I can at least achieve like some level of like proficiency. But again, for me, then ultimately, again, it was just one of those things where I understood. I was just like, I'm. For me, I feel like for me, it was really a learning process because it was like I'm really just trying to get somewhere, and this is not the right way to go about it. You know, like for me, it was just like I'm not fucking gonna move to Japan, and I'm not gonna do any of this. Like I had to kind of grow out of that because I was like, I'm not gonna do any of this BS that I'm thinking about doing.
Well,
You
yeah,
know,
you
and then I
gotta
wanted to go
realize what you're willing to sacrifice and what you're.
exactly, and
That's a
so then
big
I had
part
to
of getting good at things too.
exactly, and so then I had to contextualize my efforts, where I was just like, well, what it really seems like I have is just like a God-given gift for storytelling
Yeah,
and ideas. So I was just like, let me just take that. I was like, let me take that and make it into something more concrete and something that I can get like great at, you know, and
yeah,
I'll just take that from this whole thing. That was to me that was just kind of like a maturing process and understanding that was really not my journey. The I'm going to move to Japan
yeah,
to
yeah,
be
yeah.
Masashi Kishimoto and make the next Shonen Jump manga. That was not for me.
Right, right.
But that was like my first dream. You know, that was like my first like actual like this is like my dream. You know,
Mm,
um, because when I was a kid, I never had a I never would had like an IQ test in my life. But what I was tested for was just like aptitude tests, like you know, like oh, this is what this person might be good for, kind of shit like
mm,
that. I was tested for that twice when I was a kid and when I was a teenager. And when I was like a kid, when I was a kid, I mean like six. The idea, like it was literally the thing that it literally said to me was like, "Oh, did you have to be like an artist?" It was just saying that I had the mentality for like being an artist.
interesting.
Um, and when I was a kid, I didn't appreciate that because I was like, "Whoa, what is that?" You know, I didn't have like a concept of what that was.
Right.
In my head, I was like, "You have to be a doctor, or you have to be like a you
Yeah,
know
yeah.
something police officer." And then when I was a teenager, and they did the whole thing with me again and again. It came out like, "Oh, you should be a comic book artist, or like an artist, or a writer, or something like that." Then the second time, I was like, "Oh, this makes sense. Like, this is actually this is always been like how my mind operates."
Yeah.
And then I just took that and went with it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Interesting. Yeah, they didn't even have. I don't even know if in the school system that I went to, they didn't even have artist as an option. It was all just like, you know, quote unquote practical shit.
This
For
is
me,
a
it was always like
Dominican way.
English
Yeah,
communications, that type of
yeah.
shit.
No one.
And then and me, I'm just like, I'm 8. I don't know what that is.
I don't know what I don't know what that is. And that's the thing. Even like when I was a little kid and they did that in Dominican Republic, I just didn't have any concept of what anything was. All I just knew, I was like, well, my mom does this thing, and
Yeah.
my dad does that thing. It's like, aren't those the things? What is that thing? But then when I kind of put my mind to it later on as a teen, and I was like, okay, this is the path I'm gonna go down to. Then it basically became for me, I'm gonna watch as many movies as humanly possible,
Yeah.
especially like a shit ton of movies every day, shit ton, every day, every day,
That's
every day,
awesome.
every day. And now we're here, and we have a podcast.
About movies.
God will smite us whenever he gets.
Now this animatronic looks pretty damn good, dude. The Triceratops, that shit looks very good. It's very detailed, dude. That actually looks like a legit. I mean, that looks like a freaking elephant just laying there. That looks like an actual animal. That's a damn good animatronic. The detail there is incredible. Like every scale, even like moisture on the eyeball.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's awesome.
Laura didn't have to be in awe and cry.
Yeah. I mean, this would be me. I'd cry if I saw dinosaurs, dude.
Yeah.
Tears would come to my eyes. I'd be amazed.
I wouldn't put my hand in their mouth.
No. Her face is very close to that horn.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Here's that thing. That thing's sick. Yeah.
That's a nice little golden flashlight that she has.
Yeah. On your screen, is he laying on the Triceratops and it's breathing?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because my
we're in the same place.
My earbud fell out at one point, so I guesstimated where we were.
I see. I noticed that your fucking shit fell out.
It's because I was fiddling with my AirPods and thus the little padding came off, so I think they're more prone to slipping out of my ears now. But it's not terrible, but I just gotta watch it a little better. But my journey was similar to yours. I mean, in the sense that it, as an artist, like it, hopped around. That happens with everybody, I think. You just hop around when you're younger. You continue to hone. It's like a process. It's like you said, a process of elimination. You continue to hone in onto what you're actually interested in.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, when I was like younger, it was very silly stuff. Like when I was 5, it was like, oh, I want to be a monster truck driver. I love monster trucks.
I wanted to be Spider-Man.
Yeah. But yeah, for a little while.
My dream.
Right, exactly. But for a little while in elementary school, yeah, it was like paleontologist, something like that. Some kind of other types of scientists too, and like archaeology. At one point, I did want to be an archaeologist,
but look at that swagger that man has.
Oh yeah, Jeff Goldblum, dude, you kidding me?
Yeah.
Guy's so cool.
It's just like digging through like all this BS.
That is one big pile of shit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oof.
God damn. Yeah. But even that kind of stuff, like, again, it tied back into storytelling in a way. Because it's like, when I wanted to be a paleontologist, it's like I was watching a bunch of dinosaur documentaries, right? Like, when I wanted to be an archaeologist, it was because I was watching, like, Indiana Jones movies and the Mummy movies. You know what I mean? So it all kind of tied back into artistry and storytelling. But yeah, I do, like, at one point I wanted to be a cartoonist. That was a big one for a while. Like, Seth MacFarlane was my hero. Seth MacFarlane and Matt Groening, those were my heroes, dude. Like, I wanted to be those guys, basically. To this day, still, like, I do want to create animated shows. Like, one of my dreams, too, is, after being full-time, once I go full-time as a writer, I would like to actually, when I have like the capital and everything to do so, like create, an independent animation studio and create animated stuff, and I know you love animation as well. I think that'd be an awesome joint venture for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, like for a long time it was cartoonist. I wanted to be like at one point a WWE wrestler. But
Yeah.
even that though, I look back on that and I'm like, well, what I was really interested in was just the storytelling aspect of
Yeah.
WWE. Like I spent more time
Having this
thinking
character.
about, yeah, I spent more time thinking about my character than I did about
Yeah.
the actual like
Wrestling.
wrestling aspect of it. I
Yeah.
was spending a lot of time like working out and stuff though, because I was
Mm.
like, I'm gonna get there, man. I'm getting ready for it. Um,
Yeah, I'm getting ready for it. Yeah, that's
yeah,
funny.
yeah. And then yeah, like in high school, I narrowed it down to filmmaker, and then when we went to college, I narrowed it even more to just writing. Like I wanted to just be a
Mm.
screenwriter,
Hmm.
and then I realized like no, not even screenwriting, like just writer, author.
Just writing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like I said, I do want to go into like because the nice thing now with technology and the way things are going, like the more the years go by and the more technology advances, the more people are able to just create things on their own.
Hmm.
Like as YouTubers now, there's YouTubers that just create their own documentaries. 20 years ago, you had to have a whole film crew to make documentaries and a budget. Now
Yeah.
you have guys like on YouTube like Jake Tran who just make documentaries
Yeah.
from the comfort of their home, and they just use
Yeah.
news footage and
Yep.
graphics and things and narrate over it, and boom, you make your own
Hmm.
documentary. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I work on an animated television series right now, right? Where we're just making an animated television series.
Hmm.
So and that's only going to get better as time goes on. That's the good thing. You know,
Right.
it is going to lead to an overabundance of content.
Yep. And I mean, we're obviously already kind of in those waters.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean there's way too much music. There's too much content in general out there.
Hmm.
I guess too much is a matter of opinion, but it is an abundance of
Hmm.
content.
Hmm.
And nowadays, yeah, it is just more about picking and choosing what you want. You're never. I just read. I just finished it today, actually, on audiobook. A book by Stephen Hawking. Brief answers to the big questions, and he was talking about how like 200 years ago. I forget the name of the guy, but there was a guy who had read every book ever written. And now it would take a person
Wow.
about 10,000 years to do that. And by then, many more would have been
Hmm.
written, right? So we're
Hmm.
in an age
Hmm.
where you have to continually become more and more specialized
Hmm.
because there's
Hmm.
just such an overabundance of information and
Right.
content. But that's what's going to happen just in terms of like art consumption and content consumption. Like, we're already in a state now where you're not going to be able to know all there is to know about film, or
Right.
like it doesn't
Yeah.
matter your whole life you're going to be in conversations with people and they're going to name movies or
Yeah.
albums
Yeah.
that you've
That
never
that
listened
happens all
to,
the time.
movies that you've
Yeah.
never seen. Yeah.
Yeah, that happens all the time. I mean, look at me, like listening to an album every day, you know, having seen thousands of movies, and that shit happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
People will be like, "You listen to this?" I'll be like, "What? You heard see this movie? What movie?" It's like I
Yeah.
don't know. What are you talking about? And you're right about that because it's funny, and you have to kind of come to those realizations too, because it's like when I was a teenager, I was obsessed with Hideaki Anno, and now as a man
Yeah.
in my 20s, I am still obsessed with Hideaki Anno.
Yeah.
But I had this thought when I was a teen that I could like watch all the anime. I was like, I'm gonna watch all the anime, and then again, like you said, like I realized, like, oh fuck, I can't do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like most of it sucks ass, but also there's not enough time,
It's a
and more are
positive
coming
though.
out all the time.
That's a
Yeah,
positive though, honestly.
yeah,
Like this overabundance of content, as irritating as it can be sometimes and as much crap as
yeah.
there is, it's actually a positive, because how shitty would it be if you had seen every movie? You'd be like, well, shit, now I gotta like
Right.
wait for a new one to come out, or but it's a
Yeah.
continuous, it's a continuous adventure, so
Mhm.
that's a positive, I think.
Here he goes. Does it basically cause everything to go to shit?
Yeah, Newman, dude.
Newman.
Newman.
Okay, I'm sweating and being all wet.
Jerry.
Jerry.
uh,
I messed that up.
yeah.
It was right the first time, Newman.
Okay, so for me, he just picked up the sign and now he's
Oh,
turning it.
you know who that was, right?
Where?
Before Samuel, like the picture that they showed right as they were panning to his computer screen.
Oh yeah, who was that?
That was our boy, man. Our boy. What do they call him in the movie? Opie Oppenheimer.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's interesting that they showed him because that's
They
kind of what
showed
this
him.
movie is about. It's about getting flying
Yeah,
too close to the motherfucking sun, dude.
yeah. They showed him like Sam Jackson has like a picture of him, like I guess taped to his computer screen.
Yeah. So this whole sequence here is the most tense sequence of the film. I mean, this is so good, man. It's just raining out.
Yeah.
They put that goat out for the T Rex to eat. Meanwhile, Newman's in the Dilophosaurus exhibit.
Hmm.
This is so tense, man.
I want to grow up to be Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, he's so cool. Have I said that already?
You said that. Yeah, he's the man, though. He is the
Dude, he's
man.
yeah, he's got swag, man.
He does have swag.
It's kind of funny that the movie that he's best known for is the one where he's like turning into a housefly.
Fly, yeah. I still remember how much I laughed
Yeah.
at the Thor movie.
Yeah, Thor 3, right?
I think what is it? Love and Thunder? Is that one?
No, it's that was the fourth one. Thor 3
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok, yeah.
Yeah. You what is it? He says that you're pardoned from life.
From life, yeah.
Then kills him.
uh,
He's perfect.
that was great. Yeah, this scene is so tense, man. The kid with the night vision goggles too. This is great.
This is stunning.
Spielberg did a really great job, man, of combining suspense with adventure. Uh, I think that was Spielberg's greatest achievement, honestly, because he did that with the Indiana Jones films as well.
And this one coming up is the T Rex, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Tyrannosaurus.
They just, I guess, going up back on my paleontology nerd shit. They a couple months ago they just discovered a new species of tyrannosaur that is in the same genus as T Rex. So, in other words,
Hmm.
they've discovered other tyrannosaurs in terms of the same family,
Hmm.
but um,
Oof.
not in the same genus.
Hmm.
So, the same genus. An example of that would be lions and tigers.
Lawrence.
They're in the same genus. Damn, dude, that thing looks fucking dope.
Right?
God, that is such a great animatronic, dude.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, like this dude, they've never been able to recreate the magic of this film. And that's the thing. It's like how hard is that if you're creating sequels to this movie? How hard is it to just
Who is that guy to those kids?
nobody. He's just like a business guy.
Okay, I was like, he's not their
He's an
dad.
I think he's like an investor or something.
Okay, because he just bolted. He left those kids there.
Yeah, no, he's nobody to them. He just happened to be riding in the same car. Damn, that is dope, dude. You guys, the electric fences are down, so that thing's just gonna get out.
Yep.
That is so cool. Oh man.
Oof, look at that. Damn. Damn.
Woo. That's another thing, dude. We don't know what dinosaurs sounded like.
Yeah.
Probably never
Just
will.
going, woo!
Yeah.
What if they just sounded like chickens? It goes.
So they probably, yeah, no, that's actually accurate, dude. They probably did. Their paleontologists have noted that like that's one of
Yeah,
the biggest inaccuracies in movies is that dinosaurs probably didn't roar like that. They probably just
yeah.
did like clucks or like clicks and stuff like
They
birds.
were big chickens.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
Turn the light up, girl. What you doing?
so there's like a number of scientific inaccuracies in cinema, obviously with cinematic dinosaurs. One is that you could keep still and the T Rex wouldn't see you. That's totally false. They had excellent
Yeah,
vision.
I knew that was some made up shit. I knew that was some made up
Yeah,
BS.
T Rex, they had binocular vision, better vision than a hawk. Like they've actually studied their optical centers or whatever. They
Hmm.
had better vision than a hawk. Like they could see you from miles away.
Hmm.
Like if you, I watched a seminar, like a paleontologist giving like a lecture on a T Rex recently, and the more you learn about it, the more you realize like how fucking terrifying it would be to actually be hunted by one of those things. You would not.
Yeah.
You no chance. You're not outrunning that
You're not
animal.
getting away.
They had
Yeah.
excellent sense of smell. Their sense of smell was like 10 bloodhounds, binocular vision like a hawk. Like they were essentially like the animal equivalent of Superman, just multiple
Yeah.
superpowers.
Apex.
Yeah, dude, unreal. Yeah, they could probably. I think they could smell a carcass. They estimate based on their olfactory system, they could smell a carcass from like just a crazy distance, dude. Just like 10 miles, 20 miles away, something like that. 10 miles away,
Hmm.
crazy.
The dinosaur just barely didn't kill those kids, man.
Yeah,
He's just like trying his best. It's like, let me kill these kids.
yeah. But that's the
Those
thing.
kids are just
In movie, right? In movies, they gotta like dumb it down so that the characters actually have a chance to escape. But like in
yeah.
real life, a T Rex, like you'd have no fucking chance, dude.
Yeah, man, but it bothers me even when they do stuff like that in movies where, like, I hate the American, like, Godzilla movies.
Yeah,
And I
me too.
hate every Godzilla movie that has featured, I mean, I hate them.
Yeah.
Um, Millie Bobby Brown.
Oh yeah, they suck, dude.
They are terrible, those Millie Bobby Brown movies. Especially because she, like, outruns, like, what is it, King Ghidorah, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, how is that possible?
It's
Like,
not.
it's one of those things where you watch that movie and you're like, isn't this supposed to be like Gilroy's supposed to be like this thing with three heads
Yeah.
that it's like
Here he is,
God
dude, on the
incarnate,
shitter.
you know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. No,
And
it's
it's like,
a,
oh,
yeah, no
but
way.
and it's like, oh, but this girl, like, oh, she fools it. Oh, there he goes. Damn, I can't take any of that seriously, man.
No, dude. And that's I recently rewatched Godzilla minus one a few weeks ago, and I mean they make Godzilla so damn scary by comparison in that movie because it really is
Mm.
like the characters get away just by the skin of their teeth.
The little girl screaming. That little girl wants to die. Like
Yeah,
she was like flashing her light around, and then the second she gets out of the car, she starts like just screaming. Like, do you want to survive?
dumb
Do you
kid.
have a survival instinct?
I know. They copied the main character in this movie. They copied this character arc so many times after this movie, like the reluctant parent character arc.
Yeah, yeah,
They copied it
yeah.
like pretty much beat for beat in Evil Dead Rise. That was like one of my issues with that movie. It was just like, ugh,
Really?
this exact character arc again. It's like that's kind of the problem with I think Rob Ager brought this up recently about filmmakers. Like filmmakers these days, a lot of it
Who's
is just
filmmaker? Is he the Nosferatu guy?
he's the guy that does the collaborative learning
Oh, is his
channel.
name Rob or Bob?
Rob Ager.
Rob. Okay.
He's British.
Yeah.
But like he
I've
brought
I've
up a
seen I've seen the videos.
yeah, I disagree with him on a lot of film opinions. Like he called the Hannibal TV show unwatchable, and I was like, dude, are you
Really?
insane? Yeah, I was like, you're crazy, man. I lost a lot of respect for him for that, especially because he's like a
Yeah.
huge, he has great taste in cinema. Like he's
Mm.
actually a big Hellraiser um advocate. Like he has
A
numerous
huge
essays on that.
Hellraiser apologist.
Not apologist, dude. Like an actual like truther, Hellraiser truther,
Yeah.
dude. Where he has like
Yeah.
five, he has like multiple video essays about how great that movie is and the intricate detail of it and everything. But anyway, like he brought up a great point recently about how, like a lot of filmmakers and stuff these days just are kind of making films for recognition instead of actually having something to say.
Right.
And it's like it's so apparent when you watch movies like Evil Dead Rise, and it's like you're just copying the character arc from Jurassic Park in a such a
Well,
an outright, unapologetic way, the like reluctant
well, it's
parent
because
character arc.
that's the issue though, because it's like a lot of filmmaking has gone from being like innovative or inventive, or for that being like the purpose for a lot of people, to it just being like to it being this like process of of proving something,
Yeah.
without having anything to say, like you said. And it's like, oh, what am I trying to prove? That like I said, an okay filmmaker, that
Right.
I can point a camera at something and do it coherently. But it's like that shouldn't really be the goal
Yeah.
of art, you
Yeah.
know. Like I know that filmmaking is like filmmaking. I feel like filmmaking is such a strange thing, because in a lot of ways, filmmaking can be the highest of like art forms, and it can also be just like the most like vain and just like like non-additive like art form,
Yeah.
because there's an element of it. I feel like with filmmaking I always struggle with it, because I feel like the element of it, that this is like this fucking like too many cooks element, I always just like find
Yeah.
so disagreeable. Like this fucking like group project element to filmmaking is just
Yes.
so like
I
it's
know.
it's just always so souring. Talk about group project. Kathleen Kennedy is the producer of this movie. Known for being the president of Lucasfilms these days and making all those fucking
Oh.
Star Wars movies.
Oh shit, dude. Oh man, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she produced this movie.
Wow. She's been around for a while. So this
Yeah,
was before she
but
was a
that's the thing,
menace.
man. No, this was before she was the Venice. But that's the thing, man, because it's like it just dilutes the creative process, and then
It
it's just
does.
like it. I mean, it's so. I, say whatever you want in the comments, complain, make your arguments. I don't give a fuck. If you're a producer, you're not a creative. Like, oh, that's my hot take for today. I mean, whatever, man. Like,
I agree with
I
that.
mean, do you disagree with what I'm saying?
No, no, no. I agree. I mean, dude, auteur films are generally like films with a singular vision generally turn out better than, you know, these like big Hollywood group projects
Yeah,
that we have. Like
and that
even
and that's the
this
thing, because
one,
it's like
this
again,
this though is like blockbuster stuff, and yet it's great because Steven Spielberg,
yeah, had a
even in the
vision,
'90s,
and it was his
was the
vision. Yeah.
fucking man, and had a
Exactly.
vision, and people
And it just sucks.
followed
It
his
just
lead.
sucks ass. But it sucks ass that you have to get to that level, because that's such a difficult level to get to,
Yes.
like such a high level of success that they just get free reign to actually execute your vision. Because it's like, man, all these people making fucking movies, a lot of them don't have any other options. And I know that auteur theory is very um it's not kosher. Like people have a lot of arguments to make about that. Um, Obviously, because there's a lot of people in filmmaking that are not fucking writers or directors or production designers. There's a lot of non-creative hands in filmmaking.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm not saying that all the arguments against auteur theory are coming from those people. Auteur theory is very complicated. Notice that we're talking about filmmaking, it makes it even more fucking complicated. But the issue that I feel like what we're trying to get at here, listener, is that um, a lot of the time these movies, and this movie being an example of them, that's so fucking dope.
That's a
And this movie being and this
Dilophosaurus right
a
there.
Philosophorus.
Dilophosaurus.
Dilophosaurus.
They did
And this
not.
movie,
There's no evidence that they had frills like a sail like that
that's
came out,
that's pretty dope
or
though.
spitting venom, but otherwise pretty accurate. Even though that one
Pretty
was like
dope.
smaller, an actual adult would be way bigger than that. But I think that was just
Yeah.
supposed to be like a baby one.
I like dinosaurs enough that I have a favorite dinosaur. You know what my favorite dinosaur
Yeah,
is?
you said a
Pachycephalosaurus.
Pachycephalosaurus, right, with the bony head.
Yes, that's my favorite dinosaur.
Yeah, man.
But I guess to finish that thought, like I guess the idea we're trying to put across here is that when a creative project is spearheaded by a single creative vision, and anybody adheres to that vision, it makes for a greater like artistic output than what a lot of this other fucking BS is,
Yeah,
man. And I'm tired of filmmaking being a fucking like my biggest pet peeve with filmmaking for the past like 8, 9 years has just been the fact that it just feels like it's a fucking um like it's just a fucking like technical thing,
yeah,
you know?
construction
Like
project.
it is, and not even necessarily just a construction project, but that it's just kind of like a visual quality and fidelity thing. You know, it just feels
Yeah,
like it's just become that. Like, oh, it looks nice. I say, well, who
yeah.
cares?
Who gives a
Who
shit, dude?
cares?
I know
You
people,
know,
dude. If a movie's shot and directed well, people will just like it'll automatically get like a 3.9 on Letterboxd, and it's just like, why? I mean, who gives a shit? Like, it's
why?
not that big of a
Yeah,
deal. Like, that's not what made like Kubrick films great. That was icing on the cake. The fact that
no,
he was great with the
exactly,
camera and everything, like,
exactly.
and all those little details that we love in Kubrick films, those little Easter eggs and everything. It's like that's the icing, dude. It's all in damn script and the story and in the
Yeah.
ideas that are being presented. You know.
So I just have so much issue with this shit. You know, not to be pretentious, but I really do that. That's really why I appreciate like Thomas Vinterberg, whom we watched this movie what is it, Last Round, like the movie with the drinking movie with what's his face,
Mads Mikkelsen.
Mads Mikkelson.
The
Yeah,
another round.
another round. That's why I appreciate that guy, because like with him and like the dogma movement of just kind of being like, hey, let's just come up with great stories and let's shoot them let's shoot them with potatoes, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
of just being like, let's shoot them with the cameras that we have,
Hmm.
no artificial lighting. It's like it because the whole idea of it is just like let's just create something that is like true, and that it's not like, hey, let's take 20 everybody and we're gonna fucking arrange all the cameras and fucking bounces and everything, and then we'll be back to shoot one scene from this angle, and then we're gonna fucking do it again all over again
Yeah,
from the other take, and it's like, oh, and
yeah.
it's like, oh, shot, reverse shot, we have to fucking shoot the whole fucking thing and get
Five
I mean
hundred different dolly shots in the movie.
I've always had so much like just like issue with any of that. Whenever I see a movie and it's just like coverage, 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 movie or TV, and TV is more fucking guilty of this. Like whenever I see a TV show or movie and it's just all coverage, I'm like, I'm out, man. That's why I appreciated fucking Better Call Saul, and that's why I fucking like the show Louis. You know, like
Yeah,
Louis, the Louis C.K. show was a single camera show.
yeah,
They had one fucking camera, you know, and it's like,
yeah. I
yeah.
agree with you, man. Damn, dude, that looked like they got crushed.
Yeah, right? They're dead. I know they're gonna come out of the fucking side, but
He said we're back in
it's
the
like, oh, they,
car again. That's
it's
great.
like they died.
That's a great moment right there. I agree, man. I think
But,
it's a delicate balance too, because there, every art form, to even as as an author, right? Like,
mhm.
I sort
There's
of
an element of
gravitated
collaboration.
exactly because right now I'm working on my novel. It's a WIP, a work in progress, right? That's the kind of the industry term. And but eventually I'm going to get, once I'm finished with it this fall, I'm going to be getting editors, you know,
Mhm,
and they're going to be
mhm.
giving me notes and I'm going to be changing it based on their notes, some of their notes
Right,
at least,
right.
except for ones that I wholeheartedly disagree with. I'm going to be listening to their guidance and looking at it critically. So it's almost like
That boy dead.
great, and I've mentioned, like, I've written comics, so I've worked with artists, I've worked with I'm working on an animated TV series. I work with animators and
Mhm.
3D modelers and stuff, and it's almost like a being an auteur. It's almost like you have to master the art of telepathy in a way, where it's like
Mhm.
you have to almost telepathically sort of communicate. Like you've got to get everyone synchronized into
Mhm.
your vision, you know.
You have to be
And
able to communicate your vision well for people to see it.
yeah, because I will say, dude, one of the most satisfying things in the world, one of the most satisfying things in the world is creating something dope. But a
Mhm.
close second is when someone on your team takes your idea and makes it even better than you originally pictured it.
100%,
That is
100%.
so, and I know you've probably experienced that, like in as a director.
Yeah,
Like that is the most satisfying thing ever, dude. Of course, on the flip
100%.
side, you have someone can make garbage out of your
Dog
idea
shit.
too,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's always a risk.
Right.
But like
And
like
that's
the
obviously.
animated series that I'm working on right now, like there's an episode with like this giant crab robot, right? And like the animator originally created this original model that was like kind of how I pictured it, and I was like, that looks pretty good. Dude, he did a
Mhm.
redesign of it recently, and I was like, holy shit, dude, that's awesome. Like
Right.
that's even better than I pictured it. Like
And
you're
that's the beauty
awesome.
of collaboration, isn't it? And and
Yeah,
and I always
exactly.
love that because then it's like, you know, that's the beauty of collaboration, but also that's the beauty of the details.
Yeah,
So I see the journey and the end result's still the same, you know. It's like if you're making this dinosaur, the fact that let's say whoever did the CG animations, I forgot the name. I had it like in front of me before. I said it already anyway. Um, obviously they did a beautiful job, right?
yeah,
And obviously they probably met Steven's expectations and probably like superseded them. But the obviously, you know, then you have this beautiful piece here, and then you have these beautiful performances.
yeah,
But I guess the great thing is that it's all working towards a unified vision, right? And then you have these pieces of like creativity and great, like I guess like explosion from other people,
yeah,
as long as it's not overpowering whatever the vision and the end goal is.
yeah, for sure. Fun fact too, I think Phil Tippett was originally supposed to do the dinosaurs for this movie as stop motion.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they canned his ass. They canned him.
Yep. I
They
think this was
canned his
around when
ass.
he started making Mad God. He was like
Yeah.
disillusioned or whatever.
They canned his ass. They kicked him out.
Yeah, because I mean, this movie was the Avatar of its time, or the King Kong of
hmm
its time. I mean, it was like
hmm
revolutionary with the CGI and everything. This was only 1993, I believe, right? Pretty
I think
amazing.
yeah, it's 73. I think I saw the video where like the were like the I saw a video where they talked about that how Phil Tippett was involved with it.
Yeah.
And if I'm remembering correctly, I think it was something along the lines of like Steven saw this fucking like stop motion, and he was like, "Fuck all that." It's like, this looks like trash. We're past this.
Yeah.
Let's put this away.
I love stop motion dinosaurs too, man. Though, I bet there's a dope alternate universe where
Yeah.
there's an alternate universe where they made a dope version of Jurassic Park with stop motion dinosaurs, and it would have been pretty awesome.
Yeah,
I gotta say.
great shot. And not to say I love stop motion animation, everybody, by the way. You can go on my letterbox. I've given some of those movies nines.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever given one a 10. But I love stop motion animation. I'm not shitting on stop motion animation. I'm saying Spielberg himself was like, this is not cutting it. They
Right.
fired Phil Tippett and they did it in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, there's no denying that the CGI in this movie it just is a more realistic experience, but yeah, stop motion
Kind of.
creatures have such a charm. I mean, I have one of my favorite books in my possession is a big art book called The Art of Ray Harryhausen, who
Yeah.
was perhaps the biggest. Willis O'Brien created stop motion animation, and then Ray Harryhausen ran with it, was mentored under him, and then just you know
He walked Harry House and could run.
exactly. Thank you. Um, that's exactly what happened, and I love that stuff. When I was a kid, I couldn't get enough of those old stop motion dinosaur and monster
Mm.
films. I loved that shit, man. Um, yeah, I love that stuff.
It's funny. Me saying that reminded me of that screenshot that I sent you of like what is it? Travis Scott ran so Don Toliver could walk. But you said
Yeah.
you liked that album, right?
Pretty good. Yeah, Don
The new Don
Toliver's new
Toliver
album is
album.
pretty good. Yeah, I mean it's no rodeo by Travis Scott or anything, but neither is anything else Travis Scott's releasing these days either. So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
that's true. I've been listening to his baby mom. I've been listening to Kali Uchis the past few
oh
weeks.
yeah, how is she?
Yeah,
I've heard
cause
her on Tyler's stuff, but
yeah, she's pretty good. She's hit or miss with her albums.
yeah,
Like her first album sold like not her first, her second album sold right, and then the ones after that are not very good. And then her latest album is actually pretty good. But I'll get more into that when we actually do like an actual episode next time we're back.
yeah.
Because I've gotten through a lot of the case. I've listened to like, I'm basically at Kid Cudi.
Oh,
So if
nice.
you want to have a Kid Cudi July, maybe we can powwow through him
Oh,
on the
hell
next
yeah.
one.
I'm down for that, dude.
Because I'm literally at Kid Cudi, and I'm gonna listen to everything that he made, and then I'll probably do like a full on retrospective on
Mm, I like the sound of that, man.
him. Yeah, but next time we're back, I probably might. We'll see. We'll see how we go. Because the first episode of of the second part of this season will be packed with a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Because I also have to finish the second part of the Kendrick Lamar retrospective.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You know, it's crazy, dude. We only have like 30 minutes left of this movie. That's another thing. I mentioned it to you today. Like,
Mm.
this movie, not only is it a great blockbuster film, it's also a tight 2 hours. You know, it's
Yeah,
like,
it's just
that's
2 hours.
another thing nowadays, dude. They make movies are so damn long. For the amount of attention span that our society has lost,
Yeah.
good God, do they make movies long as hell these days? Every blockbuster now is like 2 hours and 50 minutes. It's like, Jesus, holy shit, what is going on?
Yeah.
And it's like a
Um,
movie about robots fighting each other is like 2 hours and 45 minutes nowadays.
Scorsese keeps doubling down, dude.
I know.
He keeps making long ass movies.
I know, man. At a certain point, it is like ridiculous. It's like, dude, I don't want to, you know, watch a 3.5 hour film. Like, God.
It has to be great.
Yeah.
Like if you make a really long ass movie, it has to just be like Swiss cheese. Like, and by that I don't mean like for the plot holes. I mean like really good. Like
Yeah.
it has to be great, man. Because it's like, I mean, I could go on my letterbox right now. I think I've given a perfect 10 to like 25, 26 movies. And I would say that about half, if not more than half, are probably like 2.5+ hour movies. I love long movies,
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah.
it's like they really have to be great. Because then a lot of the movies I've given like ones and twos and threes to are also like 2.5 long
Right,
movies
right.
of me being like, this is some horse shit.
You just give it a 1 out of 10 out of
Wasting my time.
spite for how long it was,
Yeah, how
for
long it
how
was.
long and bad it was. Oh,
Exactly.
yeah.
Well, there's Chicken Little, which let me look up how long Chicken Little
It's
is
probably like
before I
75
say.
minutes.
Yeah, exactly. But
80
before I
minutes.
say what I'm
I'm
gonna
calling
say,
it. It's going to be 80 minutes, dude.
80 minutes. It's literally 81
Let's
minutes.
go, dude. I knew it, dude.
And what I was going to say, the whole thing I'm trying to say here is that Chicken Little is 81 minutes too long.
Yeah, yeah.
It's 81 minutes of suffering.
That really is like your most hated movie. Dude, this is a great animatronic right here.
And I've
Holy
seen it a
shit.
few times. I've seen Chicken Little more than once, everybody. It's not like I watched it once and hated it. I've seen Chicken Little like 3
You're a
times.
glutton for punishment. That's your movie
Yeah, that
BDSM.
is a great animatronic, and it's with Chicken Little is one of those things where every time I've seen Chicken Little internally, what's going on within me, it's this sound. Ah!
Yeah.
Ah!
The
It's
sky is
just
falling. The
pain.
sky is
Yeah,
falling.
I'm just in pain, dude. The whole time, I'm just in pain.
Just screaming in pain
Just
during Chicken
screaming,
Little.
dying,
There's that meme from that Keanu Reeves movie, Knock Knock or whatever, where he's like buried from the neck up,
Have you seen that
gagged.
movie?
No, I haven't. And
It's insane.
I always wanted to make a version of that meme where it's like your head instead of Keanu Reeves, and it's like Chicken Little is playing in front of you.
That really would be. That would be a very. That would be the worst way that I could be possibly tortured.
Yeah.
Like if I if
Like if someone
somebody
did
put
an
me in the
Old Boy
third,
to you, or they put you in a room for 15 years and they just play Chicken
exactly,
Little on loop.
exactly, they just play fake Chicken Little on loop. That's the end of me, dude.
And then if you stop watching it, they gas you like in Old Boy, where you just pass out. So you have to watch it, or else they'll gas you.
That would be the end of me, because for Daz Sue, they had to spoilers for Old Boy, I guess. I'm not gonna spoil
Yeah,
Old Boy.
don't
Just
spoil
forget
Old
it.
Boy.
Just
Jurassic
forget what I
Park
was saying.
fans didn't ask for that.
No, just forget. Just forget what I was saying. But I guess to do it in a spoiler-free way, they had to really push him really far.
Yeah.
And a long time had passed, like before. And this happens at the very beginning of the movie, but before he like gets like anywhere near like a state of kind of being like, I have to unalive myself.
Yeah.
Let's say it that way.
Right.
But for me, it would be the first 30 seconds of Chicken Little. they would have to gas me up, dude. Like, he's already trying. He's already trying. He's already trying. Pop the gas. Make it stop. Make it
I'm just thinking about Chicken Little now too. His dad was just like that big, like fat rooster.
Big rooster.
Chicken Little keeps going, wait, what were we talking about? That movie is just so nonsensical. Like I can barely remember anything about it other than the fact that he has like this big rooster of a dad.
Yeah,
there's like talking pigs, and then he's got like this buck-toothed duck girlfriend, and then there's aliens in it.
Yeah.
Oh, and then there's a big pig that's like their friend.
Yeah, there's a big pig friend.
And he breathes into a paper bag when he's stressed out.
I know all the characters you're talking about. I have their image in my head.
This is like branded in your head. Samuel L. Jackson's in this more than I remembered.
He really is.
So, dude, I wanted to talk about a couple movies that I watched this past week. I watched for the first time a horror movie that I really enjoyed. And it's the first horror movie in probably 6 months to a year, probably since October, probably since we watched Gonjiam Haunted Asylum. It's the first horror movie that actually scared me in a while. And it's or got under my skin. It's called Angel Heart with Mickey Rourke and Robert De Niro.
That sounds familiar. I think I have that in my watch list.
Highly recommend, dude. If it's not on your watch list, make sure it is. Because that is so underrated, man. That is a great horror film. That got under my skin. It's like voodoo.
Angel.
It takes place in most of it takes place in New Orleans, which, dude, I love the New Orleans voodoo vibe. I love that shit, man. That Southern Gothic voodoo vibe. Like True Detective has that Southern Gothic Louisiana vibe. I love that shit. Angel Heart, 8 out of 10. Great horror film. First horror film, like I said, in 8 months probably that's gone. First horror movie that I've watched this year that's actually gotten under my skin, or maybe like one of two. I don't know. I think there may have been one other one. Oh, I watched The Wailing a few months ago, and that did get under my skin.
The Wailing's dope.
Yeah, the Wailing's scary. I think I might have overhyped my expectations a little bit. I might have had too high of expectations going into The Wailing because I'd heard about it for so long.
And obviously, you went after me like gushing over it.
So it's your fault.
after a horror movie. Yeah, it's my fault.
Yeah.
I should have said
But
it's a, I should have said it's a shitty ass movie.
right. But no, The Wailing did get under my skin quite a bit as well. Gallimimus.
Look at him go!
Gallimimus.
Gallimimus. I'm going through. I'm right now as we were talking. I'm also going through like my highest rated films to find like the longest movie that I've given a 10 to. Um, and do you care to guess what that might be?
Probably Lawrence of Arabia.
Hmm. I think that maybe I give maybe an 8. It is Blade Runner 2049 at 2 hours and
Oh.
43 minutes.
Yeah. And what'd
Yeah.
you give that? I gave that a 9, I believe.
Give it a 10. Yeah, that's
Oh,
like
you gave it a
that's
10,
the
eh?
highest like longest movie. Like that's like I went to my 10s. Um and then I just looked at I went to see like which one was like the longest movie in the movies I've given a 10 to.
Yeah.
So the longest movie I've given a 10 to is Blade Runner 2049.
It's a good movie.
Let me
Denis
see.
Villeneuve.
Would I guess maybe 2001: A Space Odyssey being a runner-up at 2 hours and 30 minutes? Maybe that's a runner-up for that.
2001, you said?
Space Odyssey,
Yeah.
yeah. Let
I
me
gotta
see.
rewatch that. I haven't seen that in a long ass time.
You know I love that. You know I had that movie on repeat forever, just constantly on repeat.
Oh yeah,
That's one
that's
of those movies that I know it's a 10. I've seen it movie like 1,000 fucking times. Let me see.
All right. It's so well made. Have you ever seen the sequel, the 2010?
No, I have not.
I
Have you
haven't.
seen that? Is that worth watching?
I haven't seen it either.
I don't intend to. I don't intend to watch that shit.
No,
No.
I think it's supposed to be good.
Really?
I thought.
Hmm.
I think it's got good ratings. 2010.
Uh,
Let's see. Oh no, it's got like lukewarm ratings, 3.2 on Letterboxd. Yeah, I am skeptical. I mean, because you don't hear about that movie nearly as much.
I know it exists, but I've never heard anything positive about it.
And then the other movie that I watched, dude, I watched for the first time the other day on Sunday night. I rewatched, or no, not rewatched. I watched for the first time Predator 2. It's
Is Arnold still in that movie?
no, it's Danny Glover.
Ain't watching it without Arnold.
It's really stupid.
Without Arnie.
Predator 2
Is it really?
is really dumb. Takes place in it's like the urban jungle, you know. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, now it's in the city. Dude, it's like everything that was great about the first movie is just sucked out of it. It's just
Yeah.
like the only good part of that movie is Danny Glover, his character and his performance. That's the only reason I didn't give it 1 out of 10 or 2 out of 10 instead of a 4.
10?
I gave it a 4 out of 10
Yeah.
because the only reason I didn't give it a 2 out of 10 was because Danny Glover's character and his performance was good.
I like Danny Glover.
Yeah, he's always a welcome face. Like he's
Yeah.
again, he's a great addition to like the first Saw movie. I'd love seeing Danny Glover in that. Like Danny Glover's awesome, but yeah, Predator 2 is so stupid. It's just the Predator running around Los Angeles killing like drug dealers and cops and
Yeah.
stuff, and it's
Yeah.
really stupid.
Mm.
It's so bad. There's so many plot holes and shit that doesn't make sense. And they make the Predator look so weak. Like Danny
Have you
Glover's just
seen the
fighting.
latest Predator movie?
No, the Predator.
Yeah.
No.
Or like Predators or whatever it is.
So I haven't seen the Predator. I did see Predators with Adrian Brody, and
Is
I
that
thought
any good?
it's like mid. It's not
Okay.
really. I wouldn't watch it again.
Some people like that thing. Like some people, I've heard like you said, I've heard mixed things, and usually I've just heard it being like I've never heard it being bad. I've heard it being like you said mid, or people saying that it's like great. That's like what I've heard about that thing.
Yeah, it's definitely not great. It's very vanilla, like very boring. If there's a movie that I would compare it to, it's like Godzilla 2014, where it's just like it's fine. I would literally never watch it again for any reason. You know, it's just so boring.
I've wanted to watch that movie though.
Predators.
Yeah.
It's fine. There's a really dumb scene where um the predators, because they're on the predators planet basically, which was a solid concept.
Hmm.
They basically tried to do what
Hmm.
Alien did with Aliens. They did with
Hmm.
they tried to do that with Predators, and they're on the Predators planet, which is a great
Yeah.
idea. It's like you're on their game reserve or whatever, but they just didn't execute it great. And there's a scene where the Predators, like, they have hunting dogs, their version of hunting dogs, and they're like these alien
Hmm.
four-legged alien animals, and they're
Hmm.
just like these shitty looking CGI things, and it's like, this is not
Yeah.
scary at all. And then
Uh,
they try to recreate that scene in the original where the guy is on the log, and he takes out his
mm,
sword, his knife or whatever, and he's like, oh, and the predator kills him. What worked about in the first movie is that they just cut away; they don't show it. In
mhm.
Predators, they they this part's funny. That's so fucked up. It's a great moment. Um, but in Predators, they actually have they recreate that scene, but they have like a full length fight scene, sword where the guy sword fights with one of the predators, and it's
Mm.
really dumb. It's so
I wanna, I
stupid.
wanna, I wanna bring back a topic. The film length topic we're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, real
Um.
quick, Prey was not bad though. Prey
Oh
came
yeah,
out a
I know
couple
you've
years
seen
ago.
Prey.
That was
Yeah, I know you've
okay.
seen Prey.
That was better than
Yeah,
Predators. It was still kind of
yeah.
mid. Like, I don't have a huge desire to go back and watch it, but that was actually pretty good. I
Yeah.
gave that like a 7 out
I
of 10.
I knew that you had seen Prey. I knew that.
Prey's decent,
Let me see.
and there's some above average aspects of it.
So let me see. So with the movie, like the movie like length thing that we mentioned before,
Yeah.
I actually went. I sorted a letterbox. You can sort by like length. The longest movie, because I also have four like I have four things in here that actually don't count as movies, like TV show-ish things.
Yeah, yeah.
So the longest actual film, like the longest actual movie that I've ever seen is Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That was good.
4 hours long. Yeah. That's the longest movie I've ever seen, and I rated it a 6 out of 10. Um, which I probably if I rewatch it, which I probably never will, I might have given it a 7. I
I
don't know
gave
why
it
I
a
gave it a
7.
6. Yeah, because I actually felt like really positive about that
I
movie.
did too. It
Um,
was a visionary movie, man. Like,
it
he
was a
had a
visionary movie.
vision, dude.
Yeah, he really did. He really did. That keeps coming back to us, obviously, because we're watching a Steven Spielberg movie. But he really did have a vision. I probably should have given that a 7. But the second longest movie I've ever seen, and this is the highest rating, I guess, for the fucking second longest movie I've ever seen. And this is how close you were to the answer to this. It's Lawrence of Arabia
Yeah.
at 3 hours and 42 minutes.
That's so long. I
And
gotta
then the highest rated, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I gotta go through my watch list, find movies that are that length that I've been putting off watching, and just watch them like miniseries, like
Yeah,
an
dude, for
hour at a
sure.
time. I
For
gotta just,
sure. Yeah.
because there's movies like that, like Come and See. Like, I
Mhm.
can't let them
Yeah, I have to
sit
see
there any
that.
fucking
Yeah.
longer. I know it's like they're
Yeah.
almost 4 hours long or whatever, but like, I just gotta watch them, man. They're works of art that
Yeah.
are important to see, in my opinion.
And so I guess to finish this thought, that fucking kid was flying. And so he was flying. And so the highest rated, like the longest and highest rated movie I've seen. So the movie I've given the highest rating, which is also a very long movie. Um, so we got a 9 from me. It's The Godfather Part 2 at 3 hours and 22
Oh yeah.
minutes. Uh,
Yep.
yep. And then Magnolia and then Oppenheimer are the three longest and highest rated movies I've seen.
This is when she pulls the. It's just an arm, a dismembered arm.
Yeah,
They made the raptors scary as hell in this movie.
it really did. It really did. Look at that thing.
Have you ever seen Godfather Part 3?
I have not.
I haven't
And
either.
you know what? And you know what the funny thing about that is? I remember when it was like a week. It was like a specific week. Um, Maybe in like 2015 that I sat down and I was like, let me watch the Godfather movies.
Mm,
It's like let me just put them down. Let me just watch them. And I watched the first Godfather and I was like, oh, that was great,
yep.
you know. And I was like, Godfather 2 and I was like, oh, that was incredible.
Yep.
And I had access to all three movies. And so then I started watching The Godfather 3. I literally started watching it. I watched like The Godfather 1, and then the next day The Godfather 2. And then the third day, I was like, let me watch The Godfather 3.
Yeah.
And so I literally started watching it. I watched about 30 minutes of it, and I was like, I can't do this. And I turned it off.
Is that directed by his
Yes.
daughter? Or
No,
is
that
it
was directed
Francis
by
Ford?
him.
Oh, okay.
It's him.
Why did I
and
think
his
that was directed by
daughter's in it.
Sophia?
She's-
Okay.
No, she
okay.
stars in it. She's like prominently in that movie. And she's terrible. She's a terrible actress.
Oh man.
I only watched 30 minutes of that movie and I couldn't stand it. And I just turned it off, you know. And I couldn't believe it because I was like, when I watched the first and second one, I was like, there's no way. You know, in my head I was like, there's no way that he really fell off like that. I was like, there's no way a guy that made The Conversation,
Right.
you know, The Godfather of Part Two. Those are the three that I had seen at that point. I had not seen Apocalypse Now yet. But I was like, there's no way that this guy really made The Godfather Part 3 and it's not good. And it was not good, man.
Yeah.
And now it's been like 10 years. I haven't finished.
I haven't pulled the trigger yet either. I don't feel any rush. I'm like, everybody says it's shit, so why? Like, why?
And maybe it's not that bad. I just watched 30 minutes and I was just like, ah, fuck this movie. And again, man, I guess to finish this thing too, I own those movies.
Yeah.
I own them. It's like I have them on streaming services. I literally own a collector's edition set with the three films. I own a collector's edition, Godfather 1, 2, and 3, and I don't give a fuck about the Godfather 3.
No, dude, I don't. Yeah, because I used to think the consensus was that it's just not as good as the first two, but apparently it's actually bad. That seems to be the consensus. Seems to be that it's actually bad. And not just not as good as the first two.
Yes. It's either the people who are like apologists for that film basically say like it's just not as good as the other two, and it's not bad.
Yeah.
And then everybody else just goes like, no, it's bad.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
That seems to be the greater consensus. I used to think it was the other. The other was the bigger consensus, but it really is that it's bad. It seems to be the greater consensus.
I think Coppola admitted that he did it for the money. I think he admitted like, oh, I need money.
Well, yeah, he's a money grubber, dude. Because like the guy Victor Salva, the guy who did Jeepers Creepers, like literally abused a kid on the set of one of Francis Ford Coppola's movies. And then when he got out of prison, Francis Ford Coppola was like, I'm going to produce another one of your movies, and made Jeepers Creepers. It's like, dude.
That's right.
And Jeepers Creepers 2, by the way. It's like,
that's right.
Wow, dude. The dude not only, it's bad enough that he abused a kid, but he abused the kid on the set of your film, which shouldn't even make a difference, but it kind of, at least for a guy like who's willing to do that, should at least tip the scale that it was on your own film set.
Yeah.
Shame. But yeah, dude.
Shame on you, Francis Ford Coppola.
Shame. The funny thing is, and it's like, for what? How much money did you even make off of Jeepers Creepers 1 and 2? It's like not that much. I mean, come on, man.
Probably bought his house. But you know what the funny thing is though, that it's like that's like a very like not well known fact. And Francis Ford Coppola is getting hyped right now because he has a movie coming out.
That's right.
with Adam Driver.
Yeah, I did hear about that. It'll be a long time coming, dude.
Like,
He's been gone for
let's
a
say like
while.
yeah, he's been going for a while. It's called like Megalopolis or something. But he actually has a movie. I don't think that's any movie, but he actually has a movie from like 2011 called like Tetra, something like that. He made a movie.
Mm.
Like he stopped making movies in the 90s, but then he made a movie like 15 years later, like 10, 13 years later. And now he's making a movie again, I guess what? Like 15, 14 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These raptors look damn good, dude. I gotta
They
say.
really do. They
I
really
can't
do.
I can't tell in this scene, I can't even tell where the animatronics begin and the CGI begins. You know what I mean? I can't even tell the difference really. It's like that
Hmm.
might be animatronic or it might
Yeah.
be C. I can't even
It
tell,
might be
dude.
C yeah, no, you're right. And I think the CG is also like a composite where even in areas where there is CG, there is like some element
Mm-hmm.
of practical effect to it.
Yeah, see, that was great about that. That's something great that they did in the '90s and the early 2000s. They did this in like the Mummy films too, the Brendan Fraser Mummy films. I always noticed it. They knew the limitations back then of
Ew.
CGI, and they
Yeah,
mixed in practical effects when
practical
needed.
effects.
Now
Yeah.
people
Now they don't
now
do
they
that
don't know
that
the
they don't do that at
limitations
all.
of it. Yeah, they
Yeah.
don't know the limitations of CGI. It's like no, this shit is still limited despite
Yeah.
the advances in technology and the advances in software. It's like it's still
But
better
even
to
but
integrate
even but
the practical.
even when it's not limited, like, even if you think about it as like a full force, right?
Mm,
It's like there's still value in things that are tactile, you
yeah.
know. And I feel like that gets lost, in the conversation, that it's like things being there, human beings interacting in an actual physical environment.
Hmm.
Um, there's something to that. That means something.
Yeah. I will say though, the flip side of the coin is also an issue. In particularly, if you look at the modern Disney Star Wars stuff, there are scenes where they're like, you know what? No CGI. We're just going to use puppets, and it also looks like shit.
Looks like
Yeah,
ass.
it looks like total shit. Like there's scenes in The Mandalorian or like some of the new
Man,
Disney Star Wars movies where it's like the whole character, the whole scene is just a puppet, and it's like that looks like Sesame Street. Like
no,
it's like I
Jake,
know this is a puppet.
let me ask you something.
Yeah,
Is there any way in this universe that kid actually would have shut the door on that fucking dinosaur?
probably probably not.
The dinosaur was pushing its weight on the kid. The dinosaur had been running, had a running start, and the kid somehow was able to shut the door and hold off that dinosaur. I
Yeah,
feel like I feel like in real life that dinosaur would have gone so fast and with so much force that that kid would have become fucking mayonnaise
yeah.
behind that door as it slammed open.
It's hard to say because dinosaurs did have their close relatives of birds actually are dinosaurs.
Mhm.
Which is kind of a little known distinction. Birds are dinosaurs. So the dinosaurs aren't extinct. Only non-avian dinosaurs are extinct.
But then, but
And
then
and they
you have
have
to
so they
take it
have
into the
the point.
physical. You have to take that into the physical, like manifestation of them in this movie too.
Yeah, so the thing that I'm getting at is that dinosaurs had like hollow, bones or whatever. So
Mm,
he might have been able to. I don't really know honestly. So one thing to note too is that like these are supposed to be quote unquote velociraptors. Velociraptors were actually
mm,
about the size of a golden retriever. They weren't
mm,
this big, but they
mm,
did have relatives that were also quote unquote raptors in the same family that were this size.
mm,
So, but Velociraptor was just a more recognizable name.
mm.
But in later
But
movies in this franchise, they did just start calling them raptors because,
raptors.
yeah, because they knew that people had caught on to that fact that velociraptors were actually way smaller.
Well, would you agree with me though in the context of this film? that the manifestation of the Velociraptor in this movie should not have had its closed door. Like the fucking door closed on his face by that little kid.
Probably not.
Yeah. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's the size of a man in this movie.
Yeah. There's no way. They're gigantic.
Yeah. There were species of raptor too called the Utah raptor that were actually about I think like 10 feet tall. They were actually like taller than a person. Um
Is there a
there was some
reasoning behind the name?
Utah raptor. I think they were discovered in Utah,
I see.
but they also lived in Europe because the continents were different back then. They were closer together, so you'd have
Pangea.
yeah, quite not quite Pangea at that time. Like they had started, continental drift had progressed more at that
Begun.
point, but
I see.
when dinosaurs first evolved, Pangea was still a thing where it was just one supercontinent. But by the
Yeah.
time Utah raptor came around, which I think was like the early Cretaceous period, the continents had started to drift, but they were still closer together than they
I
are
see.
now.
I see.
Um,
Like, you see what I'm saying? The thing raised its head and lifted that kid up.
holy shit! Oh my god! Oh, get the fuck up! Oh, yeah. No,
Come
I
on,
hear
Stevie.
I hear
You're
what you're
poking
saying.
holes into your Swiss cheese, bro.
You seen any movies in the past week, man?
No, I saw documentaries. What did you say?
Movies in the past week. Have you seen them?
Oh, I thought you said something else.
No.
Um, no, I haven't seen any movies though, but I've seen some documentaries. Um, as always, with my love of tennis and with Wimbledon coming up next week, Wimbledon starts.
Oh, yeah.
I've been just, following tennis, and I watched a tennis documentary. For any tennis fans listening, if you're a tennis fan, uh, I appreciate you. There's not, tennis fans are real ones. Tennis is a beautiful sport, but I've seen a lot of tennis documentaries. A brand new one came out specifically about Roger Federer, called Roger Federer 12 Last Days, which documents like literally his last 12 days as a tennis player, from when he announced his retirement to his last match. Very well made documentary, moving, especially if you love tennis and if you love Federer and you followed his career. Like I think friend of the show Jack, I think he would appreciate it because I know that he and I have talked about Federer before, or his dad would appreciate the documentary. I
Yeah.
recommend it to them. If you guys are listening, I recommend you to that. I recommend you to watch that documentary. Um, Pretty good. I appreciated it. I gave it a 7 out of 10. I enjoyed my time watching it. And then I loved like the tidbits with Nadal and with Djokovic and the elements that kind of went into the rivalry and their relationship with each other. Um, and I guess just to end that thought, if you are a tennis fan and you're looking for a great tennis documentary, there is one of the great ones is called Strokes of Genius, which is about Federer and Nadal, and the 2008 Wimbledon final, which is thought to be like one of the greatest matches of all time. And then the other one is called John McEnroe in the Realm of Perfection. And to me, that is the greatest tennis documentary I've ever seen in terms of like sheer, um, sheer craftsmanship and sheer kind of like how the documentary kind of pushes a little bit the boundaries of what a documentary is supposed to be.
Nice.
Um, really enjoy it. Really recommend those three things. But that's really all I've seen documentary wise.
Nice. You know, it's funny you say that because I actually do want to watch some more documentaries this year. I've had
Yeah.
kind of a thirst recently for documentaries. I think it came out of the fact that while I was home, a couple nights, like when it got late, my dad and I watched would watch an episode of Man versus Wild with Bear Grylls,
Hmm.
which was super nostalgic, but also like man, sometimes it is nice to just kick back, watch a documentary,
Yeah.
learn some stuff,
And,
man,
and you know what the funny
and they
thing
make them
is?
so well these days too. They
They
make them so
do. They do.
cinematic.
But you know what the funny thing is that I don't know if you remember this, but for like 2 summers in a row, like something got in me like during the summers, and I was just watching a shit ton of documentaries.
Yeah,
like a shit ton, like a shit ton, dude. Like I saw the Muhammad Ali documentaries,
Yeah, yeah.
Nina Simone documentaries, just like random documentaries, basketball documentaries, like just a bunch of stuff. At this point, I've seen a lot of documentaries just because something about the summer just makes me want to start watching them. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I get like a crave for like I guess just like random information. I don't even watch basketball. When I was watching basketball documentaries about Michael Jordan,
Oh yeah, I did hear that Michael Jordan documentary is amazing.
it's great. The Last Dance, I think it's still on Netflix. It's actually outstanding.
Yeah, I have heard that. That's a nice little moment too, right there on the
Yeah,
helicopter where he's looking at
yeah,
the pelicans and he realizes like there's just a lot of beauty in the modern day too.
yeah.
I think that's kind of what that shot was supposed to symbolize.
Directed by Steven.
Well, that's it, folks. The credits are rolling.
That's it.
Edward, anything you want to say to the fans before we head out for the summer and come back at the end of summer?
There it is, Kathleen Kennedy. um, thank you for joining us, everybody. We really appreciate you. Like we really do. All of you guys who comment, all of you guys that like the videos, the subscribers that we have at this point in time. We have a little bit over 300. I'm proud of us. And again, I really appreciate you guys. I hope you have a lovely, wonderful summer. We hope to see you guys again in August. We'll be back in full force. Thank you for listening to us, making us a part of your life, whether you're in the toilet or at work or making food or
Yeah.
driving. I really appreciate it. It really means a lot. It really does. Yeah, enjoy your summer. Thank you so much. What about you? Anything you
Yeah.
have to say to our folks?
No, I second everything you just said. Have a great summer, everybody. Be safe. Do a lot of fun shit. Go to some concerts. Go to the beach. Enjoy it. Enjoy life. And we'll be
Enjoy
back in
life.
August, folks. Thanks for listening.
We'll be back. And we don't have, I mean, I'm not making any promises, but I'll probably cut up some stuff for you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll try to do some clips through July to
Some
keep you guys,
reruns.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep a little bit of content going. But enjoy your summer, everybody. Thanks for listening. And yeah, take it easy.